When I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, I got a leaflet and a prescription, and then nothing else. Nobody told me what really life was going to be like with the condition. Hello, Flowly friends. Welcome back to the Arthritis Diaries. This is the second episode, and today I'm going to share what I wish I knew when I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. So, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis at the age of 20, and as you can imagine, this was a huge shock because at that time I associated rheumatoid arthritis or any type of arthritis with old age, and I was 20. So, why on earth was this happening to me? It was really upsetting and really shocking, and I didn't think it happened to anyone that was younger. And the most scary part for me was how quickly my condition worsened. So, I went from achy knees and achy wrists with a little bit of pain in the morning and the evening to then suddenly dealing with a lot of inflammation and a lot more pain. And you get that overall fatigue as well. I started to get pain in my shoulder, which meant I wasn't as mobile as before. My knees went so bad that I couldn't walk properly, I couldn't drive my car, just couldn't function properly. Wrists as well, like you don't realize like how much strength that you need in your wrists. So, like just lifting the kettle to pour a cup of tea seemed almost like really dangerous because, I was scared and it was heavy and had to just put small amounts of water in. So, yeah, it was a lot to deal with and definitely a life shift that I had to try and deal with, which is a lot. I think when you're 20, you're still a baby at 20. And I would often think to myself, if this is what I'm like now, what will I be when I'm like 50, 60, 70? Like I saw myself living like a really, really, really long time, a really long age. I wanted to look after myself. I wanted to try and stay active and live like a nice long life. Both my great grandparents lived till they were 99 and 98, and I just thought this was amazing and I wanted to be the same. And so when I got this diagnosis, I was like, uh, is that even going to happen for me? So when I was diagnosed by a rheumatologist who was about to retire, but I did have him for a few years. So he was an older doctor. And I don't know if this is the case or not, but I just don't know if he was like on board, if you like, with maybe new medicines or how maybe medicines had moved on. I wasn't sure, but I was given a medication that didn't really do much for me at all. It changed a little bit, but hardly anything. And I was really kind of pumping in the anti inflammatory tablets and painkillers. Um, and I was on this medication for 2 to 3 years. So the medication that I was originally put on was called sulfasalazine. And this medication also made your pee like fluorescent yellow, which is, yeah, it was just weird. So, yeah, I was on that for about 2 to 3 years. Now, it's probably a really effective medication, but for me, it just didn't really do anything. So, eventually, this doctor did retire, and I'm not saying he wasn't a good doctor at all, but he did retire. I got a new doctor called Dr. Joshi, and he was amazing. Literally, the first time I saw him, he was like, I don't understand why you're on this medication. Is it doing anything for you? And I was like, no. And he said, I can actually tell from your blood levels that it's not really doing anything. So I'm not sure why you've been kept on it for so long. How's like this affecting your life? And I was like, I'm not really working. I can't really do much. And he was like, right, I'm going to change this. I'm going to put you on this medication. It's going to change you. It's going to take about 3 months to get into effect, to take effect on your body. And then you should start seeing some significant changes to your condition and to the way that you live your life. So, of course, I was on board with this. I was like, yeah, I'm already not feeling great. So, another 3 months of not feeling great will be fine. And so, that medication was methotrexate. So, yeah, I was put on that, and literally I would say pretty much to the day, 3 months, I started to see, it was almost like a little countdown for me. I was kind of like, well, getting near that time, we're getting near that time to start feeling better. So one thing that they do as well in the UK a lot, I don't know if they do this anywhere else in the world, but you get a diagnosis. Obviously, you're dealing with inflammation and pain. So they give you cortisone injections, which are steroid injections. And I had quite a lot of these. These were probably the most effective thing for me while I was on the old medication. So they would inject underneath my kneecaps. I had quite a few in my shoulder. And then I had quite a few that were like popped into my bottom, top of my bottom, that kind of would target kind of all of the body. So I had some that were targeting to certain areas, knees and shoulders specifically. And then I had a few that were put into my bottom. So they're really effective steroid injections. However, when you have them in like a localized area like your shoulder or your knee, it really does have a really bad effect if you use them quite a lot over time. And so I've got like this grinding now in my shoulder that I didn't have before. So really, I wish that I hadn't had as many that I had, but at the time, it did help me. So it helps you for a short period of time. And that was probably the most effective thing that I did use. So one of the things that I didn't know was when I was on the original medication, I didn't know that I had the authority, if you like, to go to the doctor and say, this isn't working for me, I want something different. And obviously Dr. Joshi told me, yes, of course, you can do this. And I thought, oh, the only thing I thought I was able to do was say, can you increase the dosage? This isn't doing me any good. Can I increase the dosage? So yeah, knowing that would have been really insightful for me. And I definitely would have gone and said, look, can I try something else? Also, when I got diagnosed, you're not really armed with what you can do to help yourself. Can you be eating anything that will help? Can you do movement? They just kind of give you your prescription. They'll give you a little leaflet, and it's a brief little leaflet about what's wrong with you, and that's it. There might be a number of a charity or something on there. I can't really remember now, but I know that I wasn't armed with much information at all. And I think, information, knowledge of what you've got wrong with you and how you can help yourself, I think that is the key thing here. And I don't know if it's just a thing in the UK or whether it was just that particular doctor and my experience of it. Things could be quite different now. Obviously, I was diagnosed back in the year 2000. I'm 46 now, so it's been a long time that I've lived with this. So things could have moved on. But yeah, I wasn't given any advice at all on how I could manage basically rest. That's all I remember being told, oh, you'll need to rest, you need to rest. And really, it's the opposite that you need. You need to be learning to move and seeing what works for you. So around that time was when people were starting to use the internet a little bit more for information. We were turning to Google that little bit more. It was at the very beginning, not like it is now where we Google everything. So yeah, I did manage to get some information online about how I could help myself. And that is when I'd already been introduced to yoga, but it was online that I actually found that it was good to try it. It was okay to try yoga and a little bit of movement. So if you've been newly diagnosed, or even if you've been diagnosed for a while, and you need to learn a little bit more, then there is a website in the UK, they're a charity called Arthritis UK. It's an amazing website. They were formerly known as Versus Arthritis, now Arthritis UK. And their website is amazing. It has so much information on all types of arthritis, but also similar conditions. I think lupus is a similar condition to arthritis, and there's other conditions as well that are very similar. So really great place to go and check out. They've got a great online community there as well. So you can see that there's other people like you, which is really great because often we feel alone. And I think with arthritis as well, it's that disease, that illness, that people can't see it. It's not a surface level, it's, you know, very internal. And, you know, often people can think that there's nothing wrong with you. And you're not alone in that. Everybody experiences that. So it's a really nice place to go. So what I will do is I will leave the link to Arthritis UK in the description, or you can click the QR code wherever I put this QR code. It will be somewhere on screen. So yeah, just scan that with your camera phone, and yeah, it will take you straight to the website. It's really, really useful. So I definitely recommend that you use it. So I think the most important message that I'm trying to get across here is, if you've got arthritis, the most important thing is that you try and educate yourself. If you're newly diagnosed, or if you've been diagnosed for a while, you know, find out as much as you can about your specifics of your chronic illness, your disease, how it affects your body, the things that you can be doing to take a little bit of control. If you have that control, that power, some of that power back to help yourself, it changes everything. It changes the way you feel. And one thing that I do is that I never say that I suffer with arthritis. I always say I live with it. I live with it. I can't get rid of it. It's here, it's with me. So see it like, you know, your annoying brother or sister, or your annoying flatmate, or whatever. Just so that, you know, it's something that you can kind of deal with. And I think that's so important, really, really, really is important. It's so that you can take a little bit of the control back. You can't control too much what it does to your body, but if there's things that you can do to try and, you know, push back, then it's definitely worth trying. So I hope that this video has been useful for you. This is episode 2 of my Arthritis Diaries, and so I'm going to try and do a video like this every week, you know, showing you and telling you about my experiences, and hopefully you can take something away from it. If you do have arthritis, I'd love to hear about it in the comments, so let me know. It's good to share these things. Yeah, and I also upload lots of yoga videos to help with arthritis, so lots of joint friendly yoga, chair yoga, soft gentle yoga to kind of help us get through when things are tough, and to try and keep ourselves in nice tip-top condition. So if you did make it to the end of this video, thank you so much and bless you. If you did enjoy it, please give me a little like, and like I said, give me a little comment, and be sure to subscribe, because I'm going to be doing lots more videos like this. I appreciate your time. Thank you for being here. Bye.